afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to say that we had a very positive and, well, enthusiastic response to our first presentation, and so the music department invited us back, and I hope you will get value for your money today. And if I say we are happy, I also include in the we Professor Zurab, Janelidze, and Bethany Robinson, and Gerhard Beuter. They will be doing most of the presentation here today, or convening with the improvisers. And I also want to thank the people that improvise today for their interest, and that also helps us to formulate our ideas around this project. When I was at school, we learned that music had form, and so we learned about binary form, ternary form, sonata form, rondo form, and so on. And then we learned about the Italian overture when we discussed opera, and that mostly that is in ternary form, and that you can express it with letters A, B, and A1. Why the A1? Because the A tells you that what was first, the first A, is repeated, but maybe slightly different to the first time. The B tells us that there's contrast between the A and the B. So the Italian overture, it's a first movement that is fast, and then a slow, contrasting middle section, and then we go fast again. But at the same time, we learned about the French overture, which is just the opposite, which starts off slow, has a fast middle section, and goes back to slow. So there's this nice balance every time, but the problem that I have is that from the A, B, and A1, I cannot detect the tempo of the music, the character of the music. Yes, I can see there's contrast, I can see there's repetition. So there's a lot of information missing. So last time, when we introduced you to the Gestalt diagram, I think what we were trying to do is fill in that gap of data, so that we, in an abstract way, can express something more about the form. Put in another way, in my A, I can have small a1, small a2, small a3, and so on. So I think that's my interpretation, that the Gestalt diagrams that we introduce you to takes us further. But what we are going to do today is just flip the coin. Instead of, again, talking about music and show you how we can abstract it into a diagram, we are going to do the opposite. We are going to take a diagram, and we're going to get an improvisation on it. And talking of diagrams, before I forget, I see a poster of NITheCS in the back there, just also thanking them for the sponsorship that they give towards this project. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you now to Professor Zurab, Janelidze, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hans. The plan for what follows is the following. Bethany and Gerhard, who are working with Hans and myself on developing the theory for Gestalt diagrams, they will be making drawings of these diagrams, and the performers will be performing them. However, the performers haven't seen the diagrams before, so they will be improvising on what they see for the first time right here. There will be a structure to the performance, an overarching structure that will repeat throughout every performance. Without showing this to performers, what you see here is a structure consisting of 3 top-level gestalts. The one on your left side here is left blank. You see that it's not colored in. This will be an introduction to the piece, and it's left blank because the improviser will use this as an introduction, as a warm-up to the instrument. Then the middle one is the one that the improvisers haven't seen, and the improviser will then improvise on the middle gestalt. You see at the top there it says times n. That means that they can loop through this as many times as they like. You can think of this as a musical phrase. Basically, the middle gestalt there gives the structure of a phrase that they will develop on the spot and then cycle through it. And then at the end, there is again a gestalt with no color, nothing colored in, and that will be the ending of the piece. Again, left for the improviser to do as they wish. All right. Before we begin, are there any questions on what's going to happen next? Are there any questions from the improvisers? Because they actually haven't been told precisely what we're going to do. Would you like to say something in the microphone?
I think it would be beneficial if we quickly give a very quick definition of Gestalt for those who are not quite sure what that means.
Okay, we can do that. That's actually a good idea. Thank you. So you saw that diagram consisted of bars. Each bar is supposed to represent a section of music that has certain continuity to it. When the bar stops and another starts, this means that the next section has some contrast to the one before. But then there is this hierarchy of contrasts. And let me demonstrate for you now. So this would be an example of a section with some continuity to it. And now I'm going to play something else after that, which will contrast it, creating 2 separate gestalts. I've actually looped in it as well, so there were, in fact, 4 of them. But the first 2 and the third and the fourth were similar pairs. So that's where the first 2 connect with each other with a bar over them. So the picture for this would have been a kind of a binary tree. So you've got a bar for the whole piece, then it splits into 2 parts, and these each themselves also split further into 2 parts. So this is the idea, but I hope that you'll be able to recover the idea even more from the actual improvisations. It is possible, of course, that the improviser will not match the diagram precisely from the first try, but by looping through it, the idea is also to improve on it. I think we can begin. So any one of you who would like to begin can...
Professor?
Yes?
Are the improvisers allowed to add more contrast layers to the ones that are already there?
No. No, the improvisers can only add gestalt structures to the beginning, the introductory part, and the ending, not in the middle one. Yes?
Can I ask the improvisers, are you thinking of the gestalts? Because they are like you have 3 chords. Are you thinking in terms of chords? Are you thinking in terms of melodies?
No, we're thinking in terms of the overall experience of music. So the chords, the harmony, the melody, the rhythm, everything comes together to give an experience of continuity and an experience of contrast. Think of this as kind of similarity and contrast, the 2 things that make up not just music, but many other things as well, perhaps. So the point of these sessions is to convey this concept to you, of course, and also to get feedback from you. It's a work in progress as well. We'll have a chance for more questions later on. Who would like to go first? So at this stage, the improviser thinks about the diagram. So this is the diagram that was being played. You see any correlation at all?
It's using that left to right, or top to bottom.
Left to right. So this was the introductory part. This was the phrase that was repeated a few times. And the phrase consisted of two slightly contrasting sections. The first one itself subdivided into two further subsections. Okay, so maybe next time it'll be a bit better. The next diagram. Okay. The next diagram is this one. While the improvisers are deciding who wants to improvise, let's talk about it a little bit. So you see again here, you've got this introductory part, and then you've got the ending part, and then the middle one is the phrase that's going to be repeated a few times. It splits this time into a different number of sections than the one before. And you see that the left one and the right one do something different from the one that the other ones do. You can try to identify which gestalt is which part of the performance. Maybe I can ask the improviser to make a bit of a pause after the introduction is finished, so we know when the main phrase begins. Okay, so let's chat a bit about this one before we move on. So these two here were da-da-da, but that's easily recognizable, right? These two. Then there was a kind of chord but with a kind of silent melody together with it. That's the middle one. Then there was again this pattern ta-da-da-da-da. That's the third one. But I think the middle one also every now and then got repeated.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So at this stage, I'm going to hand over to Gerard to discuss what we're doing, because I'm also going to do one of the improvisations.
So should we introduce the clapping?
That's a good idea, yeah.
No.
Okay, so I almost forgot about something that Gerard just reminded me of. Just to see that you're following the diagram as you're hearing it, I would like to suggest that you clap when you hear one of the gestalts. Every time you hear it, you clap. And it's okay to be wrong. Huh? So let's have a clap on this one. Okay? So that among the triple there, the middle one will get a clap from you. I suggest that you don't listen to the claps.
That was the intro. Okay, I think a lot of you were actually quite right there. There was a da 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 da, and it was the second of each of that you had to clap. And yeah, you did that pretty well. Okay, so I hope you all get the idea now. And we're now going to have Zurab. Okay, we're just waiting for another diagram to get generated.
At the end, we can, yeah. Should we do the same one at the end? Okay.
Should we do the same one again?
I'm going to do the new one, and then after that.
Okay, as you can see, it's getting a little bit more elaborate now. There's a bit more complexity to it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm scared. This is difficult. you know why this is difficult? Because you see there's a repeating pattern, right? These two and those two. But they do not have a bar above them. That means that they actually musically shouldn't be repeating. If they were repeating, these two would have a bar above them, and those two would have a bar above them. So I should play this in such a way that structurally it's repeating, but musically, actually, they should be different enough that the first two do not group together, and the third and the fourth do not group. So it's very difficult.
Just play some clusters, that will be fine.